Disclaimer. None of the songs, including intro, artworks, including thumbnail, or characters in the video are mine. This is not an accurate portrayal of the characters. This is not a defamation of character either. This is only for entertainment. Warning. Foul language, grammatical mistakes, typographical errors. Kagami held Oikoa's hand throughout the entire train ride in hopes of calming Oikoa down because he was trembling too much. It worked slightly. It didn't calm Oikoa, but it did keep him grounded enough not to send him into another panic attack. Oikoa let go when they arrived in Miyagi though. He wanted to reach for Kagami's hands, but he wanted even judgment less. And it was a well-known fact that Oikoa and Iwaizumi are dating, so if anyone saw him holding hands with another guy, well, they'll have one more reason to think of him as a disappointment. They went to the hospital first. It didn't take them long since Oikoa immediately contacted his doctor after his treatment. When they arrived in front of Oikoa's house, Oikoa took a few minutes preparing himself. Then he turned to Kagami and asked him to stay outside for a bit so he could explain the situation to his mother. Kagami nodded and Oikoa entered his house. Toru. Hey mom. Oikoa went closer to his mom and kissed her cheek. Tadaima. Okairi. Oikoa took a slight step backwards, fiddling with his finger as he tried to broach the topic he wants to discuss. Toru, you okay? Yeah mom. Everything's fine. Talk to me baby. Come on. Tell mama your problem. Oikoa swallowed before going straight to the point. I wanna move out. Oh, okay. Mama Koa smiled. Are you finally moving in with Hajime? Oikoa felt his heart twist. He couldn't answer through the lump in his throat, so he just shook his head. His mother backtracked and blinked in surprise. Oh. Before she could ask more questions, Oikoa spoke up. I'm moving in with a friend. I also already talked to my doctor about how my therapy would proceed. He referred me to a friend of his in Kyoto. Mama Koa opened her mouth to ask questions, but Toru was faster. I also found a job to occupy my free time. Don't worry, it won't be detrimental to my health. I'm just here to tell you and to gather a few of my things. I also brought a friend to help me. Oikoa shrugged. Couldn't think of anything else to say to avoid the question he knows is about to come. Okay. First of all, may I ask why you're not moving in with Hajime? Second, Kyoto. Toru, really? Tokyo has a lot more doctors and better ones too. And you'd be closer to Hajime. So am I missing something here? Oikoa's fist clenched at his side. He doesn't want to answer, but he also knows that prolonging the conversation would hurt more. Iwa and I broke up mom. Mama Koa's mouth fell open as her eyes widened in shock. Why? What happened? What did you do? Oikoa smiled bitterly to himself. He knew. He freaking knew he would get blamed. His mother has always favored Iwaizumi over him. It was a source of pride and happiness for him once to know that his partner has his parents' approval. Not anymore. Did you talk to him yet? Have you apologized? Surely it isn't really over. Just apologize, Toru. I'll even help you. Come on baby. Hajime is the perfect guy for you. You'd never find one like him ever again. Just tell me what you did and I can help you apologize. His mother's voice sounded sweet, sympathetic, but it sounded accusatory to Toru. He laughed bitterly to himself. If I needed further proof of how shitty I am, this is it. I didn't do anything. His mother frowned. Toru, this is not the time to be prideful. Come on, just tell me what happened. Oikoa looked at his mother in the eyes for the first time since he entered the house. His eyes were red and teary. His jaw was clenched and he was gritting his teeth together. You wanna know what happened? Fine. Your precious Hajime cheated on me. He cheated on me. His mother's mouth opened and closed as she spluttered out defenses. Maybe you misunderstood, Toru. You do have a habit of jumping to conclusions and overreacting. I found him fucking a girl on his couch, mom. And no, it wasn't a maybe, he just fell on top of him accidentally while they're naked situation. I watched them go at it for minutes. I watched them hump each other like rabbits. I listened to them moan. Oikoa swallowed through the lump in his throat, tears running down his face. As he took a step back and just breathed for a minute, he opened his eyes to the sight of his flabbergasted mother. Did I misunderstand anything, mom? Oikoa watched as his mother opened her mouth and no sound came out. He waited minutes for her to speak up, hoping that maybe, just maybe, he'd have someone on his side for once. That he'd finally be the main choice. The right one. Not the last option or the wrong choice. Finally, his mother spoke. Maybe you should just talk to him. It could be an accident or something. Oikoa laughed loudly, the sound wet with tears, pain and bitterness. Seems like until the end, even when he's supposed to be the right choice, he's still the second option. Still the one who should move aside and let people walk all over him. Maybe that's why he's so attached to the rainbow madness. They are people far away from Iwaizumi, far away from all the better choices than Oikoa. That way, he's the only choice. Maybe that was shitty of him, but he honestly doesn't care right now. He's just so tired of always being the one in the wrong, of never doing anything right. Atsumu was different, because he's like him. He shook his head as his entire body trembled. He left his mother in the kitchen, calling his name, trying to convince him to give Iwaizumi a second chance. He walked straight to his room, pulled his bags from under his bed and carelessly stuffed them with his clothes. He'll just examine all of them later. He just wants to get out of the house as fast as he can. He only took some of his clothes and his laptop. Nothing else. He'd just buy everything else next time. He firmly ignored all the photos of him and Iwaizumi and his friends that was plastered all over the place until he finished packing. Maybe he should be thankful at his mother's behavior. If he wasn't so mad right now, he'd probably be too caught up in the memories that his room contains. He carried his bags outside his door where his mother and Takeru was waiting before slamming the door on their faces, then proceeded to have a very therapeutic activity, thrashing his room. After that, he went out of his room, leaving his door wide open for everyone to see the disaster that is his former room. He picked up his bags with his uninjured hand, and walked past his mother who was acting mad, lecturing him about his behavior, and a confused Takeru who's asking if he's okay. Oikoa ignored them and walked down the stairs straight to the door. Oikoa Toru, if you walk out that door now, you will not be welcomed in this household again. I will freeze your bank account as well. Oikoa stopped. That's right, mister. Now turn around and apologize for your disrespectful behavior. Oikoa turned around, smiled at his mom, then bent down to put on his shoes. Toru, I am serious. Go ahead, mom. Freeze my account. Don't give me any more money. Dad still sends me money. At least he's good for that. And I have a job now, remember? Oikoa turned around and walked straight out of the door, his mother still shouting threats at him. His father might have also been a cheating asshole, but at least he has his uses. Even when it's just sending them money to cover the fact that he's an absentee. Now that Oikoa thinks about it, it was incredibly stupid of him to think that his mother would be on his side. She's still pining for a man who cheated on her multiple times after all. The amount of relief Oikoa felt when he saw Kagami's kind and gentle eyes is immeasurable. Mr. Kitty Cat. Oikoa-san, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Oikoa smiled. He's not fine, but at least he's better now that Kagami's here. Toru. Takeru ran out of the house crying. Where are you going? Are you leaving? Why are you leaving? Stay, uncle. With how mature Takeru acts, Oikoa sometimes forgets that he's just a kid. He's reminded of it now though. Watching him tug on his pants as tears fall down his face makes Oikoa wonder how he ever saw him as anything but a child. He kneeled down and embraced Takeru. I'm sorry, Takeru, but I have to leave. I promise I will try to visit, okay? Oikoa pulled Takeru's hand and wrote his new number there with the pen he always carry around. What about Iwa? Oikoa's throat tightened. Takeru idolized Iwaizumi. We broke up, Takeru. But why? Oikoa was anxious. He doesn't want to say, too scared to not be chosen again. But he did anyway, desperately hoping to still be chosen. He found someone else. Oikoa said weakly, simply. Oikoa watched Takeru's expressions closely, wanting to see how he would react before he actually does, to prepare himself to the inevitable accusations. Takeru's expression hardened, his face morphing to that of rage. Oikoa's breath hitched as he waited for the worst. So he cheated on you. I'll punch him when I see him. It took a few moments for Toru to process what happened, his mind not recognizing the unfamiliar feeling of being chosen. When he did, he laughed. A small weak one, but oh so happy. Finally, you don't have to do that. I do. He hurt you. I'll punch him in the dick. Oikoa laughed, then embraced Takeru once more before standing up. That's when he caught sight of Iwaizumi's parents, who came out to see what the commotion is about. They looked at him, concerned. Ikora swallowed then looked away, pretending that he didn't see them. You'll come visit, right? Ikora smiled then ruffled his hair. Of course. What kind of uncle would I be if I ignored my favorite nephew? Takeru pouted as he swat at Toru's hand which was still ruffling his hair. I'm your only nephew. Exactly. Ikora laughed at the offended look on Takeru's face before going serious. Bye Takeru. Take care of yourself, okay? Takeru scoffed. Of course. I'm more worried about you. Ikora rolled his eyes before smiling at his nephew. That's when Takeru noticed the giant standing beside his uncle. Who are you? Don't be rude, Takeru. This is Kagami-kun. He's my friend. Takeru studied Kagami, who was awkwardly standing with a smile that looks more like grimace. The only thing Takeru noticed though is that this Kagami person is bigger and more muscly than Iwaizumi. He nodded his head, deciding that Kagami is sufficient enough to protect his uncle in his stead. Takeru took his attention off Kagami and hugged Ikora tightly before letting go and running to their house. Go. I'm sick of your face already. Ikora smiled, still ignoring the two sets of worried eyes that watched from the house beside theirs. That went well. Shall we go? Kagami studied Ikora with concerned eyes before nodding and picking up Ikora's bags and waiting for Ikora to lead the way. Mr. Kitty Cat, those are my bags. At least let me carry one of them. You're injured, Ikora-san. Besides, it's like having weights with me, so it's additional training. Ikora wanted to argue but he knows he will lose, so he just huffed and allowed Kagami to do whatever he wants. Neither noticed Takeru watching them still, realization entering his young mind. Looks like Takeru found someone new to idolize. As they walked to the train station, Kagami spoke. Are you okay, Ikora-san? Ikora really thought about the question. Is he okay? Probably not. He's just been betrayed by not only his boyfriend but also his mother. He's also slowly realizing how toxic the environment he was previously in. His friends and boyfriend were all toxic, borderline abusive. For his family, honestly, that's just an entirely different mess. If he would describe his family to someone else, he'd compare it to the clothes that are in his closet that he no longer uses. Something he should let go already because it's just sat there stinking up the rest of his clothes. But at the same time, couldn't let them go because he's hoping he could use them again. It took a few minutes for Ikora to answer, but when he did, he sounded certain. I will be. So Ruru, what are we doing today? Midorima looked up from where he's cleaning his nails. Well, what do you want to do, Atsumu-san? I don't know. Do you want to go out and explore Tokyo? Atsumu hummed in reply as he changed positions in the couch. I don't know. That's kinda exhausting, so probably not. Well, do you want to watch movies then? Not in the mood. Do you want to play games? Do you have games? No. Atsumu snorted. Then why suggest? Midorima shrugged. Well, we could always go out to buy some. Dart. Nah. That includes actually going out. Midorima huffed out a laugh before he went back to cleaning his nails. The atmosphere going silent once more. Dart. Ruru, I'm bored. But I also don't want to do anything. My body is full of energy, except I don't really want to use this energy. You know what I mean? Midorima just chuckled in reply, still busy with cleaning his nails. Atsumu looked at him. You really love cleaning your nails. It is necessary to keep them clean and at perfect length. Is it healthy though? I used to do that a lot too. When I was just starting volleyball, I wanted to be the perfect setter, so I made sure everything was perfect as well. I cleaned and filed my nails a couple times a day. Even when I had little to no nails to file, I still did. It had gotten so bad that I was filing my skin. So my parents took me to the doctor and she said something about the negative effects of filing your nails every day that I no longer remember since I've let go of that habit a long time ago. Oh, yeah. It doesn't grow that fast, you know. You can leave it on for a week and you won't even notice the difference. Midorima put his nail file down. How'd you let go of that habit? Well, I painted my nails because if I file them, I would destroy the paint, then I'd get frustrated and... Atsumu gasped. Ruru. He got up from the couch by tumbling on the floor. Are you okay? Yeah, Ruru. Atsumu grabbed Midorima's shoulders. Yes, I know what we're going to do today. Midorima sent him a skeptical and slightly alarmed look. The change in the atmosphere and Atsumu's mood was so sudden. He's still processing it. What? We're going to paint our nails. Atsumu-san. I don't have nail polish. And I sincerely doubt you'd carry one either. Ugh, you're right. Atsumu flopped on the floor, his feet on the seat of the couch. Basically, it was just his position earlier except on the floor. Oh, I know. He tried to grab his phone on the table still in his position. Keyword. Tried. Midorima watched him with an amused smile before sighing and reaching for Atsumu's phone and handing it to him. You're no fun, Ru. It was supposed to be a challenge. Thank you. Midorima snorted slightly to himself before watching what Atsumu would do. Atsumu put the phone to his ear and imitated the sound of ringing as he waited for whoever he called to pick up the phone. Hello? Momoe-san. Atsumu-san. Hi. Hello, Atsumu-san. Do you need something? Oh right. Do you have nail polish? Of course. Oh, can I borrow them? I want to paint Ruru's nails. Momoe squealed. You're going to paint Midorin's nails. Wait, what? Takau's distant voice came through the phone. Who's going to paint who's what now? Atsumu-san is painting Midorin's nails. Atsumu just laughed at the couple's conversation. Wait there, Atsumu-san. We're coming. Atsumu heard a shout of let's go, then the call ended. He looked at Midorima sheepishly. So I might have accidentally invited Takao babe and Momoe-san? Midorima sighed. Yes. That's what I thought. Atsumu frowned guiltily. It's okay, right? You're not mad? I can just tell them you're not okay with it if you. No. It's fine, Atsumu-san. I don't mind. Those two would often barge in uninvited anyway. PFFT. When Takao and Momoe arrived, it was utter chaos. They immediately maneuvered Midorima into the kitchen table so they could all seat comfortably while Atsumu has a surface to work on. And so they could watch. Okay, Ruru. Are you sure you're okay with this? Yes, Atsumu-san. I want to try it. Like you're really sure? Really sure? 100% super duper really sure? Midorima huffed out a laugh. Takao and Momoe staring at him in awe. It still amazes them how utterly effortless it is for Atsumu to make Midorima smile. They saw him smile more in the past few weeks than Momoe has seen him do in years. Yes, Atsumu-san. I'm super duper ultra mega 1000% really sure. Okay. Just making sure. Midorima smiled fondly at him. Takao and Momoe still staring. So do you have any idea for what pattern you want? Not really. So no idea? Like at all? None whatsoever. I trust you, Atsumu-san. You can pick whatever pattern you think would look best. Atsumu wiped a fake tear. Ruru. How sweet. But now that you trust me so much, I am very tempted to paint dicks. On second thought, Midorima slowly hid his hands but Atsumu pulled it before he could. I was just joking. I wouldn't really paint dicks. Or vajayjays. Or boobies. Or, you're not really helping your case, right? I'll shut up now. Atsumu gently studied Midorima's hands. Wow. You have really pretty hands. He turned it in his hand, tracing every finger, every vein, every line on it. He raised Midorima's hands to his face and entwined it with his, admiring how perfectly they fit together. They were interrupted by a flash and the sound of a camera, followed by panicked shushing. Atsumu looked at his forgotten audience. What? We were commemorating this grand event. Shin-chan's getting his nails painted. Fair. Okay, let's get started. Atsumu slowly pulled then tools he needed from Momoe's bag, completely missing Midorima's red face. Atsumu started painting Midorima's nails, Midorima watching him intently, admiring how beautiful Atsumu looked when he worked. Takao and Momoe are just filming and taking a lot of photos as they watch the scene in front of them like it was the world's greatest movie. All that was missing was popcorn. And done. I painted clovers because clovers are a sign of luck, right? Yes. Takao and Momoe immediately crowded around Midorima's hands. Wow. Atsumu-san, can you do my nails too? Mine too. Atsumu laughed. Okay. Yes. The two immediately sat on the chairs, their hands perfectly flat on the table. Now Ruru, try to not remove it for at least a week, okay? Then after that we can clean your nails again. And if you want me to paint them again, I would be happy to. Okay. Atsumu smiled at him before turning to the two. Midorima just sat there alternating between admiring his nails and admiring Atsumu. Takao and Momoe both wanted Atsumu to decide what to paint for them as well. Okay, so for Momoe-san, cherry blossoms. And for Takao babe, a mountain during sunset since all I can think about is Takao Mountain. The couple squealed in delight as they both admired their nails, even taking pictures. How about you, Atsumu-san? Aren't you going to paint your nails? Well, I am jealous that all of you have painted nails and I don't. Any suggestions, Ruru? I think you have great ideas, Atsumu-san. Atsumu shrugged and studied the various nail polish in front of him. Ruru, what's your jersey color? Orange. Why? Well, since I painted your clovers in my jersey color, maybe I can add your jersey color into mine as well. I know what I'm gonna paint now. Painting with your non-dominant hand in a very small surface such as a nail should be very difficult, but Atsumu made it look so easy. Done. What do you think? Atsumu showed them his nails and the couple immediately admired it. It's so cute, WTF. So pretty. Thank you. What do you think, Ru? It's beautiful, Atsumu-san. It suits you. Takao and Momo left eventually, which left Midorima and Atsumu alone. Hey Ru? Yes, Atsumu-san? Can we try cooking again? I mean, you cook and I'll try to help. I promise to read the instructions very well this time. Please? Midorima sighed but had a small smile on his face. Sure, Atsumu-san. Ruru, your mixture is moving. Don't be ridiculous, Atsumu-san. Food can't move, but it's really moving. Midorima watched as the mixture he was previously mixing crawled out of the bowl. You're hallucinating, Atsumu-san. We're hallucinating. There is no way the food would move on its own. Atsumu laughed nervously. Right. Of course. That would be impossible. They both slowly walked backwards as the slime-like mixture slowly got out of the bowl and crawled towards them. The thing stopped on the edge of the countertop and both slowly released a sigh of relief, thinking everything is fine now. That was until the slime bubbled, slowly morphing to form holes in what they assume is its face, forming eyes and a mouth. Then it shrieked, making the two jump. OMG, 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 OMG. Kill it. How? It's not even supposed to be alive. The thing was still screaming, a shrill, high-pitched tone that Atsumu imagines what an actual banshee would sound like. Panicking, Atsumu took a pot from the side and filled it with water, hoping that if it has too much water, the mixture wouldn't be hard enough to move. After the pot was filled, Atsumu immediately poured it on the thing. The thing's scream slowly faded as it melted and the two sighed in relief again, until the thing caught fire and shrieked even louder. How the fuck? Kagami and Oikoa arrived sometime in the afternoon. They left the bags in Kagami's apartment, then went to the agency to drop off Oikoa's medical info to Kelly. After that, they went to get groceries. Oikoa covered fully, still scared to run into Iwaizumi or Osumi. That and it's still winter. They are standing in the meat section, trying to decide what to buy. Kagami was looking over all the meat while Oikoa was just staring silently into nothing. Penny for your thoughts? I'll give it to you for free, Mr. Kitty Cat. Kagami let out a surprised laugh at the monotone way Oikoa said that. So, what are you thinking then, Oikoa-san? Just thinking about my mother. Kagami grew concerned but then laughed when Oikoa continued. Just thinking about how I'm definitely not bitter over her choosing my cheating ex over me. And how I'm definitely going to be a mature adult and not do something petty to get back at her. Oh no, definitely not going to be petty. Kagami laughed as Oikoa turned towards him. Did I ever mention that my family is competitive, especially when it comes to cooking? You might have mentioned it when we were in Hokkaido. Kagami replied while smiling. Then you should also know that my mother hoards her secret recipes like a dragon hoards gold. And I'm such a great and mature son, so I'm definitely not going to share her treasured recipes to other people. Definitely not. Kagami was bent over laughing silently as he listened to Oikoa. And it's definitely only a coincidence that all the stuff I put in our cart is the ingredients for some of her recipes. Wow. What a weird coincidence. Kagami said, still laughing. I know, right? It's also a shame that I can't cook right now because of my injury, so I have to ask someone for help. Accidentally sharing the recipe. Kagami couldn't stop himself. He laughed, loud enough to gain the attention of the other shoppers. Well, if it's an accident, then I'm sure your mother would understand. You have a point. Hey Mr. Kitty Cat. Yeehahaha, yes. What do you think we go to Mido-chan's apartment after? It's so we could eat a delicious meal with our friends, of course. And also to make sure Atsumu hasn't burned down the entire neighborhood. Kagami wheezed. Definitely not so I could advertise the food and make them spread the recipe around. Hahaha no. Of course not. That would be ridiculous. You're such a good son to a very good mother after all. Oikawa laughed. Kagami never stopped. They were interrupted by another laugh coming from beside them. They looked to see that one of the cashiers that they forgot was there, heard their conversation and was laughing too. The three looked at each other in silence for a moment before they all burst out laughing again. And no, Oikawa definitely didn't give that cashier the recipe to some of his mother's dishes. Kagami and Oikawa decided to just cook the food in Kagami's apartment as they are not sure if Midorima had complete tools. They worked together perfectly, with Kagami doing the cooking and Oikawa making sure he's cooking correctly. They also baked cake, with Oikawa decorating it. After that, they packed all they could and went to Midorima's apartment. They rang the doorbell and waited for a few minutes, growing concerned when nobody answered. Do you think they went out? Kagami shrugged. Okay, let's try one more time. Kagami rang the doorbell, not letting go of it. Oikawa shot him an amused look. The door was pulled open by an irritated and disheveled Midorima. Can I help you? Hi Mido-chan. Midorima blinked, just only registering who was on his front door. Oikawa-san.
Baby, I'm not even here. I'm a hallucination.
Midorima still didn't pay attention to Kagami. He instead pulled the door close to him to prevent Oikawa and Kagami from looking inside. Well, what are you doing here? We wanted to eat dinner with you guys. Oikawa talked as he tried to peek inside, suspicious at Midorima's actions and the noises coming from inside the apartment. We wanted you to try out this new recipe. Kagami and Oikawa smiled mischievously at that. Not that Midorima noticed. Oh haha, that's very kind of you Oikawa-san. Can we come in? Oh I'm sure just. Midorima's eyes kept on moving, as if trying to find an excuse. Giving up, he sighed and pulled the door open with a defeated look on his face. Come in. Midorima led them to the kitchen where Atsumu's voice is the loudest. They arrived at the kitchen to see Atsumu on top of a rattling, screaming trash can, trying to stop whatever is inside from coming out. Atsumu jumped slightly away and looked at them with wide eyes. Then he cursed and sat on top of the trash can, trying to act normal. Oh hey babe, what are you doing here? Oikawa fixed his best friend a suspicious look while Kagami stared dumbfounded at the mess in the kitchen. What you got there? Nothing. Just taking out the trash hahaha. Atsumu laughed nervously. The trash can, or whatever is inside the trash can, stopped moving when Oikawa spoke. But then something else happened. The bottom part of the trash can started melting and some kind of slime-like lava monster came out. What the? Eep. Atsumu jumped away from the thing and moved towards them while the thing slowly followed. And for some reason, it didn't destroy the floor. Didn't even leave marks on it. What is that? What is what? That. Kagami pointed at the lava monster. Oh that's our son. Your son? Yup. Definitely our son. Right Ruru? The gods visited us and gave us a quest to take care of Kevin. Kevin. Yes. Kevin. Our son. Who we're supposed to raise and take care of like he's our own so he can one day save the world. Kagami and Oikawa looked at each other, disbelief clear on their faces as they look at Midorima and Atsumu who were smiling nervously. They don't know whether to laugh or cry. Is that what happened? Yeah, definitely. Yup, of course. Kevin was born and the gods entrusted him to us. Yep, that's definitely how he came to be. It's definitely not because Ruru was trying to cook and it somehow came alive while he was mixing the ingredients and I definitely did not pour water on it only for it to catch fire. PFFFT what? No, that's definitely not what happened. What? After lots and lots of talking, mostly lectures and expressions of disbelief, it has been concluded that neither shall be trusted alone in the kitchen, much less together, because somehow, Midorima gives food life and Atsumu sets everything on fire. What no one noticed though is the fact that Atsumu and Midorima were sitting on their legs on the floor with their backs straight, their eyes to the ground and their hands clenched on their knees. But that's not the best part. The best part is that Kevin is sitting between them, silently listening to his parents get scolded. Oh my god, what were you two even cooking anyway? Well, pancakes. What? We were trying to cook pancakes. Midorima was standing protectively in front of Atsumu, facing Kagami and Oikoa while Atsumu was hiding behind Midorima, casting scared glances at the two. Kagami and Oikoa were just giving them an "are you serious" look. Oikoa sighed as he massaged his temple. Atsumu, no Koa, I am not giving you Kevin. He's our son. Stop trying to take him away. Oikoa looked up, praying for patience. Atsumu, that thing, don't call him a thing. He's our son. I'll protect him with my life. Even from you. Oikoa gave Atsumu a deadpan look. You were just trying to throw him in the trash a few minutes ago. Atsumu gasped as he cradled Kevin closer to his chest. I did no such thing. Kagami, who was keeping silent, spoke. No, you kinda did. Atsumu gasped again, caressing Kevin. Shh, don't listen to them, baby. Papa will protect you. Daddy will too. Right, Ruru? Midorima nodded seriously. Of course, Atsumu-san. Oikoa was tempted to tear his hair out, but he just got it dyed, and that's a waste. How are you even touching that thing? It's made of lava. That thing you're talking about is my son, and he is never going to harm his parents. Atsumu lifted the blob that is Kevin in front of his face. Isn't that right, baby? You'll never hurt Papa, right? Of course not. Kevin seemed to be bubbling happily, his entire body moving. I give up. They are all at the dining table eating dinner with Kevin on top of the table and Atsumu trying to feed him. Kagami was looking at the scene with a confused expression, wondering if this is some kind of fever dream. Oikoa is just straight up ignoring it. Rue. Kevin doesn't like the food. Oikoa looked at Atsumu at that, a manic smile on his face. Why not? Does it taste bad? It tastes wonderful actually. Oikoa frowned and faced Kevin. What do you say, Kevin? Does the food taste bad? Kevin bubbled for a few seconds before making a bleh sound, some of the food that he took dripping down the side of what appears to be his mouth. I guess that means he doesn't like the food then. Oikoa laughed loudly. It tastes that bad, huh? That's great. You know what? I think we're going to get along well. Call me Uncle Toru. Kevin bubbled happily. It was Atsumu and Midorima's turn to look at Oikoa like he's gone mad. What sane person is happy to hear that the food they cooked tasted horrible? But Koa, what are we supposed to feed him? I don't want my baby to starve. Oikoa took out the cake he baked and put a slice in front of Kevin. He still didn't like it, but at least he liked it better than the main dish. Why don't we just let him choose? We can take him to the kitchen and just let him find what he wants to eat. The three smiled. That's a great idea, Kagami. Me. I was being sarcastic. Kagami sighed while the three ignored him. Atsumu picked Kevin up and they went to the kitchen where he put Kevin down on the counter. Kevin went straight to the bowl where he came from and danced happily around it. Does he want pancakes? I don't know. Kagami stepped forward and cooked one pancake which vanished into Kevin's mouth within a blink. They all looked at him in shock before he started screeching again. Kind of like the mandrakes in Harry Potter. This made Kagami cook more, but Kevin ate each one faster than Kagami could cook them, so even Oikoa helped. Atsumu clutched Midorima's shirt as they stared at the scene in front of them in disbelief. Ruru. Our son is a cannibal. Kagami snorted. That's what you're concerned about? You literally just accidentally made a lava monster slime thing out of pancake batter because none of you can cook. Then you adopted it. Like WHO in their right mind would do that. Better yet, how is that even possible? Kagami lost his temper, and his sanity, at the absurdity of the situation. But Atsumu only looked at him then squawked in offense. Rude. Don't call my cute baby a monster thingy. He's too cute to be a monster. Kagami looked at him with a look that showed how completely dead he is on the inside. Besides Atsumu, he's not really a cannibal since he's not a pancake. Obviously, he never made it to that stage. I'm more concerned at how you two are going to feed him when none of you can cook. Kagami swiveled his head to look at Oikoa with his eyes full of betrayal. I trusted you. Kagami turned back to his cooking, trying to stop his tears from falling as his faith in humanity slowly vanished and his concern for his friend's sanity die completely. Because there is no hope for these people. Why is no one but him concerned that the incompetence of two people created an entirely new species? Well, we could try again. We'll learn eventually. No.
Child. Anyway, so.
Did you like the food? Yes, babe. Yes, Oikoa-san. Oikoa grinned evilly. Do you want the recipe? Kagami looked at Oikawa with horror-filled eyes. Oikawa-san, if you give them such a complicated recipe, they might start the zombie apocalypse. Hey.